Here we go. Okay, welcome here. Welcome to the Maestro Online Library. And here's the website. There we go, share screening. And when we go into the dashboard, which I hope you can see, here's the course dashboard. And you've got a profile area here where you can change your image. You can see how many login points you've got. You can see your certificate points, pages you've been on recently, and you can resume jumping back into where you were. You can also see how far you are through each course area. And here is a league table for the number of login points you've got. And equally on the right here is a league table for the number of certificate points you've acquired. You can see quite a few people got some certificate points there. And then as I scroll down, we've got the self-study courses here, which were all created by the Maestro Online and team. Piano, organ, guitar, mostly pop singing in the singing area, but we also have here the ear training and the solfege inspired by the Kadai. Welcome, Charles. I can see you there as well now. And masterclasses. We've got singing masterclasses here. We've got Ralph Allwood, who was directed music at Eton for 26 years and leads the Rodolphus Foundation, which is really significant on sight singing and on conducting. Debs Cadtrell led the National Youth Choir of Great Britain for, I think it was 9 years, and she does an Alexander technique approach to singing. Marsha Morrison, who's got credits with Stormzy and Ellie Goulding and has worked with the Kingdom Choir there. We've got Tom Powell, who's toured with Ollie Murs, who takes how to find the meaning behind text approach, and myself as well. And then in the organ world, apart from myself, we've got Jason Roberts, who's won the National American Improvisation Competition. He takes the approach that Schoenberg takes to improvisation, question answer phrases, sentences, sequences, minuet forms. Seats to Freeze virtually went viral during lockdown for his improvisation tutorials. Working from Twinkle Twinkle to Bach style 3 parts. Stefan Matul going from playing Frere Jacques in a canon to 4-part fugues. Darius Batawala on silent movie improvisation. Then in the jazz, pop, classical piano world, Mick Donnelly, who's played for the likes of Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson, tours with all sorts of people. It's got pentatonic improv, blues scale and modes. You've got Marcus, who's toured with Madonna and has created some incredible solos for people like James Morrison with his licks and grooves. Mark Tallman Walker, who is right this moment performing with the Jacksons as we speak, here with his courses. Will Todd, British composer who's composed for people like the Queen, Nelson Mandela. On his spice rack, he describes a major chord as tofu, rather flavourless, and how to spice it up. Richard Michael here, who helped establish Jazz Grays in the Associated Board. Performance anxiety from the phenomenal Daniel K.R. Daniel toured with English National Opera as a vocalist and has sung things like Harry Potter and been an agent for Disney and all sorts of other things. And Daniel here, he has specialised in performance anxiety, coaching BAFTA and Grammy Award winners. And we have the amazing man, Robert Emery here, who conducts for a whole load of classical singers, but also orchestrated and conducted for the Bat Out of Hell tour. Welcome, Michaela. And so we have all these masterclasses. Thank you for finding us in our roundabout route. Now, in the actual courses, what is a course, a Maestro online course like? Well, this is our new format this year. So here's a We Will Rock You course, and you get to watch Freddie, and you've got objectives to complete. You have to watch Freddie for at least a minute to complete your first objective. And as you go through, the first thing you do is you train your ear, and it's a Kadai inspired approach here. We've got solfege and inner learning. Here's the hand signs. You've got videos of me teaching it, training your inner ear. And by the time you get to the end of it, you think, right, I now understand this, but you've also got interactive software, which I'm hoping while I'm on Zoom, it's going to be kind enough to display. There it is. Come on. Here's the software. And you can see Do, Ti, La, So relating to the notes, and you've got it in different keys. And you can also click the keyboard. You can see the keyboard play, you can see the notes play, and you can see your solfege at the same time. So you've got all of that. You've got the same thing here, but you've got the notes plus hand signs, and if you click this button, you'd also have the keyboard. So they all connect. It's about connecting your ear with your playing. Then you tick to say, yep, I understand Fa mi re do and do ti la so. I've got that, and I go to my next page. The next thing you do is you play your tune in many different keys. This helps you understand semitones and tones and how far apart the notes are. And you realise that two We Will Rock Yous makes one major scale. If you haven't realised that, you'll have to do the course. So you complete your objective. Here we go. Then you add an independent bass, initially by singing the bass while playing the tune, and you learn to improvise with a simple bass as well as playing your tune, and you're doing it in many different keys. Next, you add chords, and you're improvising with your chords, creating different textures, and you get some nice demos to follow as well. Completed my objective. Okay, I'm deliberately completing my objectives because I'm going to show you something at the end. There's a reason for this. Here we're going to play in a round. So here we sing and then we play. So you might go, we will rock you. And you're developing the ability to have two different things going on at the same time. Once you've got this skill going, you might want some licks and turnarounds to add to your improvisation. And if it's kind enough to show them, there they are. So I've completed this. I've done an improvisation. I've got some licks. I've got some turnarounds. I've got some counterpoint. I've got some canons. I've got some chords. And now we can start looking at lead scores. And I'm seeing the melody in different keys. So I'm reading it by shape like a graph. Yet again, if you want your piano there, you can have it there too. But complete my objective. Now, for those people that want to read notation, there is reading notation using what I call the hand stave here. It's quite a well-known system where you were given 5 fingers because music has 5 lines, and that's why you have 5 fingers, so you can read the music. So you can follow it in treble clef. You can click play here and change the speed, and you can see the keyboard. I'm explaining it while you read it, and you can read it in several different keys. Again, you're reading music as a graph. It's not essential to complete the note reading bits in order to gain your certificate at the end. Sight reading, again, based upon the same tune. That's deliberate. So if somebody is neurodivergent or dyslexic or has challenges reading notes and it's not for them, they can still complete these courses. But I recognise that there are some people for whom reading notes is important, so therefore it's there as well. But there are no objectives here. So if it's not for you, I'm just clicking through the bass clef. Then that's absolutely fine. So now we're coming to the conclusion. And if I'm looking at my objectives, I haven't completed the first one because I didn't play We Will Rock You for a minute. I appear to have missed clicking that one. And I've got a quiz as well. So who wrote We Will Rock You? I'm going to put Queen. Do, ti, la, so. That's the same as Fa, mi, re, do. Which is the correct order of notes? Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Let's click that. Which makes a G sharp minor chord? G sharp, B, D sharp. Submit my answers. Right, there we go. I've got 100% my quiz. That's quite good given that it's my own quiz. That's good, isn't it? So there we go. And if I completed all my targets as well, a button magically appears here and you get to download your certificate, which is all automated. So, and every course is like this. Every course now has objectives and a quiz at the end, summary of what you learnt. And if you do it all, you get your automated certificate. So I think we've just got a little message in the chat. Let's just check that. Oh, right. Charles will be coming back later, I think. So here's the guitar lessons. I'm not sure we've got a guitar audience here, but you can see there's a range of courses here created by my good friend. And I just want to show you some of the technology for guitar. So here we've got the same thing where we've got the solfege underneath and we've got the notes above. And this is Andrew, who teaches the guitar, and you can follow the videos with him. We've also got the tablature, and then if you wanted to learn guitar rather than the piano, we have the fretboard that would play along with the score, hopefully. No prizes for working out that was smoke on the water. Okay, so there we go. So here we go now to pop vocals. We've got Bruno Mars, Marry You, and you can see here that we've got a whole range of course objectives. We've got the same course progress things. We've got various techniques, things, various exercises that you can do, all the same kind of things through the pop vocal courses. In the solfege ear training courses, we've got consolidating pitches here. We've got a whole range of courses using quite modern songs as well as traditional. We've got Pretty Woman here. We've got Who Wants to Live Forever. We've got Ode to Joy. We've got Jingle Bells. We've got My Heart Will Go On from the Titanic movie. A whole range of famous tunes to build your skills. Here we've got Marsha. Marsha is a wonderful lady. I spoke about her earlier in the vocal masterclasses. Credits with Stormzy and Ellie Goulding. And I set her the challenge of singing the same song for 3 different events. I'm just going to mute Charles there. There we go. Here's what she came up with. So, Marsha, sometimes you hear one artist sing a song, you hear another artist sing it a different way, and you think, oh, I like that take on that. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're just singing around the house, and one day you sing it differently to the other day you sang it, and you think, yeah, I prefer that version rather than the other. And it's possible to sing a song in so many different ways, yes. Or for a song on one day to have a different meaning to you to another because you connect. So I set out the challenge of a community support event, a party event, and a TV charity appeal. So let's zap to the end and see how she did. Well, obviously she was amazing, but let's hear her.
One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Very subtle differences, but they did feel like they meant different things to me.
Isn't she brilliant? Absolutely brilliant. And you could hear the difference. Here's Ralph Allwood, MBE, with his pro sight singing strategies, which is really for people who find matching notes with scores more difficult. This is step 10 within his course here. We've got a little quiz. Which tune is tune 1, 2, 3? And we've got a quiz down the left to complete. Very interactive. Here we've got one of his strategies, which is the kind of support en route. And here you have to sight read the score, and the bottom notes you will hear, and the top notes you won't. So in other words, the score is just helping you stay in tune, but it's not doing it for you. Etc. So, and there's a separate one here for men with the lower pitch there, etc. So there's scores for both types of voice. Here's Darius Batterwaller with his silent movie course. Got a range of things in here. We've got waltzes, polkas, ragtime, charleston, bells, of course falling out of a window, storms and other resources. Now, these are taught in a particular way. So let me go to polkas. So this course is the comedy course. There's a second course, which is drama. These courses would not just be used for silent movies, to be honest. They will radically change your improvisation skills and your understanding of music. So there's what a polka sounds like. And we've got 5-task approach to each activity in this course. So here we've got a skeleton score. Some of the scores and some of the dancers have some of the left hand missing, and you have to fill them in. Or here you have the left hand and you don't have the right hand, but you have a hint of some typical rhythms that you would find in a polka to help you out. Now you might be saying, that's a bit hard for me. Well, you could take complete freedom from the score, and you could have just chord numbers or just chord letters. Or you could use this interactive score, which scrolls along and plays the left hand, and you could just improvise the right hand. And if you were stuck for the notes, as always, there's always the piano to play along with as well, so you can see them. Here in this score, this is our task number 4 for this, you can practice it in different keys because you are able to transpose this score, and you can change here, transpose, and you can choose a different key or a different octave in this case, because I've selected it as unison. I should select a different interval. Let's try third. There we go. Third up. I could go down the octave accordingly, and you could select that. And there we go. It's another key. So you can practice it in different keys, so you get used to different keys. And this score, you could actually compose and print it out. So you could click, I want some quavers. Oh, that's the rhythmic idea. Let's put it here. Let's put the quavers here, shall we? Let's click a quaver or minim, and whatever note you've got here, and you click it. And you can print your own piece, and you can play it back. So if I go to here, I could play that, etc. You can also change the tempo of these scores in case you were panicking there and you suddenly went, that's not going to work for me. That's way too fast. Then next to the play button, you click the arrow and you can change the speed. And there's some clips as well from YouTube for you to create your own improvisations, etc. etc. All the same thing, your objectives at the end plus a quiz, and you can download your certificate. Here's Mr. Mark Walker. Mark Walker is at this very second in time performing with the Jacksons on stage. He's their Korg keyboardist. I thought you'd like to hear him. This is him improvising right where I'm sat now. Isn't he fantastic? Amazing. Now, just in case you're thinking, oh, so I have to watch this video and copy him, do I? No, you don't. Heavens no. God, that'd be crazy. I'd love to be able to just sit and watch the video and copy him. I've transcribed all of his solos, so you get transcriptions of his solos and his improvisations, but also, just as with the other courses, they're broken down into tasks. So there are tasks around the circle of fifths, etc., or certain hand positions, or where he's moving there with the octaves and fifths. So tasks to enable you to at least come a little bit closer to being Mark Walker. Here we have performance anxiety. Now, and this is by Daniel, who I mentioned earlier, who's toured with the English National Opera. He's been a soloist himself, a major soloist, performed on the Harry Potter movies as a vocalist, agent for Disney, etc., etc. He's now retrained and he now deals with performance anxiety, trains people in the West End, trains people going for BAFTA awards, etc. So I think that many of us suffer from performance anxiety, and I think many professionals don't want to talk about it because it's not something we want to give across as an image. And Daniel's got 2 courses here which are properly researched and thoroughly accredited, that use visualization to help you. This first course, making friends with your brain there, accepting where you're at and what you're feeling instead of fighting it. The first course is things you can do right now when you're feeling anxious. And the second course is long-term strategies to help you manage those. I've actually had people recently take these courses who aren't musicians and have really benefited from them. So moving across now, Mick Donnelly, who's been performing with Pixie Lott and all sorts of people recently. He's also performed with Bruno Mars, Michael Jackson, right back to the jazz greats of years gone by, to people like Rod Stewart currently. Mick teaches you how to play scales and how to improvise with scales in the most amazing ways. He brings scales to life. once again, before you think I can't do that, Mick has a really special way of practicing scales. In fact, he has several strategies, and they're all broken down, and they are really step by step. But it's amazing to see what can be done with scales and how amazing they can be. So thanks to Mick for that. Here we have another organ one. This is Stefan Matul. Stefan studied in Paris. He's Belgian. He currently works and lives in Switzerland and plays at the Hofkirche there, where many people like Mendelssohn have played before him. He starts improvising with fugues, and he starts very simply initially. He starts with simply playing Frere Jacques around, and he builds it to a 4-part fugue. Now, we abandoned Frere Jacques at this point, and we went for a different theme for the 4-part, simply because we realised the Frere Jacques fugue only has the chords 1 and 5, and so it got rather limiting. But the ending of what Stefan improvises here is just spectacular. Isn't that brilliant? An improvised fugue, absolutely stunning. I don't want to tell you how many hours I've spent transcribing those as well, but the transcriptions are there, and yet again, step-by-step activities from playing Frere Jacques around to developing fugal texture. No easy task. And that's it from the Maestro Online courses. I'd like to invite you to ask any questions if you would like to.
Robin, sorry I joined late. I was late seeing your message. If David doesn't mind, could you just quickly go through what I missed, what you started with?
Yeah, I'll go right at the beginning, Michaela. So here is the website itself, and when you click course dashboard, you come into here, and on your course dashboard you have a photo of you that you can put in. Here's my name. Here's how many points I've got for logging in, how many times I've logged in. Here's my achievement points. I've got 10 points per certificate, so I've got 4 certificates here. You'd think I would have done more, wouldn't you, really? Here are the pages I've viewed recently. And if I click resume, that will go back to the page I was last on. Then here, for piano, organ, guitar, singing and ear training, I've got how many percentages I am through each set of courses, so I can see how I'm doing. I've got login points league table here. You can see how various people are doing. And on the right side here, I've got certificate points league table, and you can see how everybody's doing and where you fare in the league table. Then when I scroll down, you've got the self-study course areas for piano, organ, guitar, singing and ear training. So they're the Maestro Online courses, and Andrew Sparham has helped me here with the guitar because he's more an expert in that region than myself. Masterclasses, we went through the different areas. This is the vocal and conducting area. We've got the wonderful Ralph Allwood here for sight singing and for conducting. Debs Cattrall, who directed National Youth Choir of Great Britain. Marsha, who you've just seen singing there. Tom Powell, who's toured with Ollie Murs and talks about the meaning behind the text and how to bring that through. Myself. We've got the organ ones. We've got Jason, who won the AGO organ competition, National Improvisation Competition. We've got Sitza, who went viral during lockdown for his improvisation tutorials. We've got Stefan, who you've just seen, and also Darius, who we've just seen with the silent movies. Then we've just seen most of this as well. Here's various piano ones, but it's also more of the pop and jazz side mostly, but not entirely. We've got Mick, we've just seen with the scales, minor pentatonic, blues and modes. Madonna's keyboard player Marcus, Slick Licks, James Morrison. He created a solo for one of James Morrison's most famous songs, and Mumford and Sons. Mark, who I've just told you is currently playing with the Jacksons. Will Todd, who you've probably heard of as a composer, who's really become global. Excuse me. Richard Michael, who is a BBC Scotland presenter, and who helped found the jazz syllabus for the ABRSM. Myself, a bit more of Marcus. You've just seen the performance anxiety there with Daniel. And we also have Robert Emery here, who has orchestrated and conducted for many great classical singers, but also for the Bat Out of Hell production. He orchestrated for that as well and conducted that. And so we have orchestration with him. The only other feature that I haven't mentioned that you could have missed, but I didn't say, is that schools, colleges, universities now can upload entire classes in one go. And you can track how your students are doing, see what they're doing, see how they're progressing. And that's where the Maestro Online is currently at.
Mm-hmm. You have been busy.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of work, But it's really, well, you know, because you were in the old library as such, and you can see, hopefully, quite a transformation to what we've got now.
Can you opt out of the league tables if you don't want to compete?
Yeah, you could do. Yes. There's no need to compete. And to be honest, they're only showing the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. But you'd still have your displays here as to how you're progressing yourself.
Because it does say 1 of 10, so it kind of implies you could scroll through and see.
Oh, yes, I suppose it does. Yes, you could opt out if that made you particularly conscious. Yes. David, any questions from you?
Not really, because for me it's all quite new anyway. But I take Michaela's point that probably for the older people like us, we're not really too concerned with seeing the league tables, even let alone knowing where we are or where somebody else is.
Absolutely,
it's more a case of you're doing it for your own.
For yourself. Yes, yeah. I think the younger generation enjoy the dopamine hit.
I know our students love league tables, but
yeah,
it could be an age thing.
Yes, yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much for coming, and I will save this video, and just 1 second, I'll click stop. I'll stop share, and I'll click stop record. Right, where are we going?